we can just get rid of Jeremy, everything will go back to normal.
That reminds me. I saw Miss Emily earlier. You remember her? You know she's Jeremy's niece.
She's looking for him.
That's right. She's helping us. In her own way.
As long as she don't stand in the way of the mother of 1,000 young.
I don't think she knows or cares about that. She just here for Jeremy. I've been more worried about that Detective Carmen fella. He been snooping around asking all kinds of questions.
God, it hurts.
I wish you would stop doing that. Gives me the heebie-jeebies.
The orderlies, Baptiste and Lottie, were back at Derceto as well, like pieces of Emily's past haunting her. She couldn't figure out if they were on her side or not, and what was Lottie suffering from? What is going on here? We must have faith that Jeremy's pact with the Dark Man is a bluff. If we are lucky, our visitors will find him and prove it's all nonsense before night falls. What is true is our attempt to call on her. Too many things have happened for this evening to be in vain. Think of Jack and Cassandra, even Perosi, whose circumstances I can't understand. Grace is our goat without horns. She knows it and will play the role. You must talk to your brother, Baptiste. I worry that he will fail us. Mrs. Thompson.
Lunacy and the Astarte Artist Colony, a monograph by Yael Klein. In early 1909, the old Derceto plantation outside of New Orleans was turned into an artist's colony. 3 famous European artists rented the house and the surrounding land from the owner, the Ledoux family. The colony was chiefly run by Sebastian Cortez, who was playfully dubbed the captain by his collaborators, William Arges and Heinrich Kassel. The colony existed for 6 years, until one day all 12 members disappeared without a trace. It is widely believed that their disappearance is connected to the disastrous hurricane that passed through on September 29, 1915, but nothing truly supports this claim. What is known is their frequent participation in New Orleans nightlife, their love for hosting parties, and their elaborate contributions to the Mardi Gras parades as the Pirates of Pontchartrain. Accounts of their lifestyle can be found in almost every gossip column. It can effectively be summed up as carefree and bohemian. In late June 1909, the name Astarte first... Even the name Derceto is the Greek name of a Syrian fertility goddess. In the case of naming the plantation, Derceto was certainly not an accident. We know that Elijah Pickford intended to build a temple for his cult, for he had distributed pamphlets 2 years prior to the purchase of the land, advertising his intentions. His followers were estimated to be almost 100 men and women, mostly sailors, Maroons, and Cajuns, when the plantation was built. To outsiders, Derceto registered as an ordinary slave plantation, which enabled Pickford and his flock to remain hidden for decades. The official story is that the cult lasted until 1862, when the Union Army came and burned down the plantation and scattered all who lived there. Following the Civil War, new people started to congregate in the ruins of Derceto to invent a new fertility goddess, the Shub Niggurath. As much as Derceto is a particular name to have heard of, it's not entirely uncommon among the learned. Astarte is equally known and could have been subconsciously chosen by...
It's blocked. I don't want to run into the orderlies right now. I should find another way. I think Dr. Gray is in there. Maybe I can go snoop around his office then.
Mrs. Thompson, I understand the last week has been busy. Under these circumstances, I find it important to remind you that Derceto's concerns are not a public matter, nor is it something that should upset you. Please continue your excellent work, and don't spend a thought on the death of Perosi, or, more importantly, the suicide of Cassandra Beauregard. They should mean nothing to you or the staff. I rely on your loyalty and trust that your close kinship with the Tabois siblings will keep Derceto's secrets hidden. Dr. Gray.
It looks haunting in this light. I need the key.
What a terrible thing to recognize that your betterment was an illusion. That you are so infatuated by the virtue of struggling that despite all your hard work, you made no real efforts to ever become well. Or that the treatment becomes such an obsession that instead of letting your wounds heal over time, you tear at the flesh in the hope that it will heal better and faster. If only it would bleed in the way you wanted. Do we ever become well? What do you think, Dr. Gray?
Mr. Waits must have had a spare key to Dr. Gray's office, but where? I need the key. I don't know the combination. Wait, maybe I do. It worked.
The last guest in the empty room suffered from severe maladaptation. I must write this down, because if I understand the condition sufficiently, it could make me deny this fact at a later date, and there is reason for me to think I may come to suffer the consequences from this dysfunction, as some who came in contact with the guest seemed to adopt a new worldview in which everything was predetermined but broken. Upon accepting this worldview, some memories became unmanageable and later rejected. I do not know what this means. I cannot even remember the fate of the guest.
Here we are.
Emily felt lost as she entered the office of Dr. Gray, much like she had the last time she was here. She began to question what she was hoping to find. She was simply going on a hunch that Dr. Gray was
The Gray's office. Now let's see if we can find some answers.
I have finished tidying up Miss Beauregard's belongings. I will leave it to you to contact her agent and have them collect her things. I found one of Grace's drawings she might want back, along with this key in her room, which I believe you've been looking for, Mrs. Thompson.
Dearest Dr. Manzetti, I find myself in a losing battle with my patient. As I've disclosed in my previous letter, his delusions have him completely captured. It's bad enough that he is torturing himself with paranoia, but his madness turns out to be quite persuasive to others, effectively laying the ground for mass delusion. I am writing to you in hope that you can give me some guidance. Beyond my ambition to avoid devastating surgery on my patient, I have grown worried about my own defenses. The words of my patient are deranged, yet they often resonate with something primitive within me. I have tried photographing his brain with X-rays. It was surprisingly difficult to get good results. Dark blotches on the plates kept obscuring all details. My patient looked at the bad plates and cried out in terror, telling me the dark areas was the shadow of the worm, eating him from inside. I could not see anything out of the ordinary. I hope this is a sign that my mind is not as receptive to the madness as I had feared. After further inquiry, my patient described the shadows inside his mind as some kind of chthonic monstrosity that wants to undermine his sanctuary. This is clearly a reference to a place he calls Teroea, a sort of library or convent that works as a psychological haven. With this imaginary haven threatened by this Chthonian, he has now constructed another, less pleasant hiding spot. Lately, he has been bringing up a metaphor of a steamboat that has run aground, that he feels like he needs to start the engines and reverse, but he is afraid that the hole in the hull would cause the whole ship to sink. I've been watching him turn this metaphor into reality for the last week. He knows it's made up, but he is doubling down, trying to make it a real memory. I feel certain that this is my chance to break through the barriers of his self-deceit.
need the key. I need the key.
Hey, little lady, how's your evening been going?
Ups and downs, I suppose.
I hear that. We all live in the life of an elevator operator.
Are you alright, sweetie?
Do you want to see my mask, miss? I'm making it for St. John's.
How did you... Is that supposed to be my... Ow!
You should learn your place, little girl.
Why are you acting this way? What did I ever do to you? Grace! Grace!
The mask had reminded Emily of her father. It didn't seem like a chance connection, but a purposeful reference made by that child. How could Grace have known what he looked like, and that it would upset Emily so? And why would she use those words? Emily felt like it was beyond strange. It felt impossible. Did it even happen?
I'll just borrow these. At least he's breathing. I'll just let him sleep it off.
Jeremy knew that the only one who could help him now was the guest in room number 3. The room seemed to have been empty for so long. But that wasn't allowed to be true. The story needed to be different. To include something from the outside, he would bring the guest back to room 3 and show them what was in that safe. 913. But those were not the right numbers. That was the combination for the safe in the clerk's office.
What did you expect from them? You created too much. There wasn't any room to breathe. Your reification rendered all possible worlds void. You took everything they could imagine and constrained it into something that you didn't even care about. Or maybe you did. Perhaps you cared the most of all. Maybe you tried to save them from themselves, and that is why you had to die.
something missing.
Brother, I need you to trust me. This is the most important moment in our family's history. I know you have doubts and that the terrible Mama Loa told you lies. I would never betray you. I promise. Lottie.
Detective Comby, I'm terribly sorry that my niece has pulled you into this mess. Please, with all my blessings, take her away from this cursed place. I have destroyed that Eater of Worlds and locked it away in the attic and retreated to a place of hiding. Tell Emily I'm safe. Tell her all the lies you can think of to make her listen. Take her back to New Orleans. Sincerely, Jeremy.
Sometimes I think this place makes me worse. That Derceto might be my grave. A coffin made of ostentatious architecture. A Taj Mahal for the drunken depressed. There's something about Derceto. Something about Dr. Gray. Like we all pretend that we're here to get better, when in fact we are here to be forgotten.
Ruth, are you there? No, of course not.
Castle built the Zoetrope as an exercise in animation. He is very interested in moving pictures and has even ordered an aeroscope camera for the colony. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of phantasmagoria he will produce. For now, his Zoetrope entertains me greatly. It's not the little man passing his head, while quite humorous. It's the spell of that flickering light as it rotates. I swear, it takes me back to my childhood in a most profound way.
What is going on here? is going on here? I need the key.
Radiography, patient Jeremy Hartwood, date June 14, 1930. Plates. Jeremy's skull proved difficult to capture properly. Partial radiographs worked best. A complete picture of the brain can be assembled by piecing 3 plates together. Observations. Even when looking at an assembled version, a shadow covers significant parts of Jeremy's brain. Possible tumor, but more likely that the equipment is failing. Jeremy reacted strongly to the pictures and claimed to see a giant clay worm eating and displacing his memories. Notes. While this exercise has left me nowhere closer to an answer, I feel confident that a Burkhardt lobotomy should sever all necessary parts. Hypothetical psychosurgery based on the ideas by Burkhardt and the St. Petersburg research could end up saving Jeremy's mind. Severing the connections around the frontal lobe would certainly solve most mental afflictions. The procedure would be brutal in performance, as well as in efficiency. An ice pick pushed through the edge of the eye and into the skull would untether the nerves like Alexander cutting the Gordian knot. As this would likely leave Jeremy in a very different condition, all other paths should first be explored. The medical instrument I would need for this lobotomy is missing, and I should have Waits order a new one.
What's happening?
Abundance to the black goat of the woods. Hear us, Mother.
What's this? That's better.
Dr. Gray seemed to put a lot of effort into understanding and treating Jeremy. Did he find anything useful? Or was it all for show? An excuse to torture him? No matter what, Emily thought, maybe she could follow his work to some conclusion about the steps stipulated in the contract.
I guess I never got a chance to look around this place. What's this? This feels familiar somehow.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jeremy, where are you?
I'm stuck in the mud and the fire is taking me.
Jeremy? Can you hear me?
The motor is dead. I can't do anything more.
Hang on, Jeremy. I'll get the boat running. I'll get you out of here.
A ghostly voice sounding like Jeremy called out for help. Emily couldn't quite understand where the voice was coming from.
The boat is run aground, crashed right into the bayou. If I get the motor running, I could try backing into the river. Jeremy, where are you?
There are many ways to cross a threshold. The easiest one is being invited, a door swung open, leading you inside. Another is sleep, hypnosis, or even sudden fright. There are those who fold spaces that challenge Mobius, or jump through angles that defy Euclid. If you learn to properly use your talisman, you could go anywhere. You wouldn't even need to rely on the fluttering wings of the shrieking Byakhees.
I can break this, I just need something to hit it with. I think it just needs fuel to run.
The artist spent a lot of time boating on the vast Lake Pontchartrain. Poetry, painting, photography. Everything seemed to become better by the shimmering water and the opalescent sky. One night, as the sailors returned to Darceto, they found a masquerade ball taking place. It must have been Perosi and Nora who invited their friends from the theater. The sailors quickly fashioned masks out of plaster of Paris and joined the festivities. They enjoyed themselves for hours before realizing time was not passing. Nor could they find their friends. As they began to worry, they demanded that the guests unmasked. But they could not, because they were not wearing any masks.
Are you ready to tell me what's happening?
What's happening?
I put a rope around my neck, and then I strangled all life from my heart.
Uncle!
Are you under the impression that you died?
Yes. No. I was supposed to die.
What does that mean to you? That you were supposed to die?
I'm the catalyst. I had to die to make the story happen.
Story? What are you referring to, Jeremy?
30 years ago, Frederic needed me to die.
Jeremy!
You're not making any sense, Jeremy. Come back. Find your focus.
Uncle?
I cheated everyone. I didn't play my part. I escaped my doom. Destiny!
Again, find your focus.
Jeremy!
Now everything is wrong. Nothing is in place.
Hey, listen to me! We're gonna drown!
Calm down, Miss Hartwood. You're not in any danger.
But... Jeremy... He was here, wasn't he?
Miss Hartwood, I am beginning to suspect your family curse is catching up with you. Have you ever talked to a doctor about your condition?
No. No, I was just confused. I thought I saw him for a moment. I'm fine. I'll let you be.
Miss, I want you to know I'm here to help, if you need me.